just as we were talking before we went for the break, we were talking about what was happening during the liberation struggle. In 1976, we had the Vashandi rebellion taking place. There is another rebellion around about 1978, just around the time of the Malta Conference. Rugare Gumbo is among the rebels. And today, the same Rugare Gumbo is fingered in a plot to oust you from power. He accuses you of being an unforgiving person. This story has never really been told in full. Briefly, what happened then, and is there any correlationship with the events of 2014?
Well, it's the same man wanting to repeat himself. What he doesn't know is that I was personally responsible for getting him back, and even for giving him that position which he had. Some people wondered whether I was doing the right thing. For a new person, we make him, I think the position he had then was secretary for, was it information, right? And he was using that position then in Berengwa to get people to support him. And achiti ndinda mkuru wezvakati mu Politburo. That's when I said, the positions we are giving you, some of you are younger people than those others we had in the struggle. But we are giving you these positions because we want the energy in you to benefit us and the people in your working harder, you see, for the party. But that's not a recognition of the positions as we used to know them. That's why you had the likes of Anna Webster Shamu, vari mucommissariat, vari vakuru kuma provinces kwese. But tichiti ukuru hwako hwokomisa haukurire ukuru hwevamwe vanoita hold lower positions in party. So don't think you are superior to them. And they recognized it, most of them, but he did not. And I didn't know. You see, he has some kind of vengeance against Wanana Mnangagwa and others for his defeat Kumberengwa, and he carries that into the party. I have had no real act of retribution against him. And for that matter, when we all were back from Mozambique on the eve of the election in 1980, the late Comrade Mzenda and I discussed the fate of political fate of those we held in prison in Mozambique. Because Ivo they 77, 78 Anglo-American proposals. Ndopa wakaita hama dziripi, Rugare Gumbo attempted coup d'etat. I think we had gone to Malta. And of course we imprisoned them. We did the first group, Najino, we handed over to the Mozambicans. But this group now, Takati, we will imprison them ourselves. And Takachera Gomba Pasi, deep, as deep as here, Pasi, kugadzira imba ipapo, nokuisa mibhedha ipapo mukati macho. So tavapasa sadzati vake vari mugomba iroro ratakatachira remba in prison. And we didn't even tell Samora this time about them at all. We kept them imprisoned. 78, 77, 77, 77 to 78. But vakazobudana 1980. Lord Soames, who was here operating from here, said he wanted these to come out first. Achifunga kuti tikavaburisa ivava first, vanoita mbiri yokuti vanga vakasungwa ndivobva vatora great support. But you will know of, if you don't know of the crowds that greeted Nkomo and myself. First Nkomo came first, then I came later. Highfield. Right? Soames asked Samora to release them first. And Samora said, no, I will not release them. And in India, no, I should not come. I should not come. Narul Soames, at that time, I should not come yet. Why? Because he wanted these out first. So Samara said, I can only release them if you will agree. When a group ZANU-PF led by President Mugabe to also return at the same time. That's how what happened. So we were released. They were released. Your Soames agreed. So we came back same day. Now, when we were here, Bamzinda and myself talked the matter of their political future. And we said, fine, we imprisoned them. I think let's go and ask them together. Vaive Jameson Hotel. Kumono Watapa. We have a meeting with them. So we had a meeting now on GDP, Gumba and others. We want you now to join us. Matuone and this Makanga Mambutiramba Mazotuone. We want to support. No, we just want you to join us and come back to where you used to belong. Nokuti maona zvino kuti tinokwane tine vanhu vari kutitevera. Tikati, oh, okay, go your way. So he went the way of Hamadziripi went the Mzorewa way. He went, I think, the Stolle way. and Stole got 0, Nachikerema was 0. Muzorewa akabuda nenhatu dzandandichitaura dzemahelicopter ake pama-elections. So they got lost. So they were in the wilderness, and Amadziripi died in that wilderness. Yaiti, you come please to the funeral. I said, no, I'm sorry he died, but I will not go to the funeral. Tekamuti, okay, now you come join. In the Dopakawia. It was not Mamjuru who brought him, it was Comrade Mzenda and myself. And that nonsense he's writing is just misplaced. I didn't have any rancor. He had his own fight with Comrade Mnangagwa. And the others were saying, no, he wanted to do his own thing outside, you know, the provincial executive program. Ndozvavairwisana kuti kumberengwa ikokoko he wanted to do his own thing, but iyewo achiti no, vanhu vari kuitwa intimidate navana Mnangagwa and so on. So they have their fight, provincial fight ikoko province kwao. I was surprised that in fact he had acquired this animosity towards me. I think it is just the fact that he was now very close to Kunamai Mjuru. And being that close, he had to share, of course, the fact that my Mjuri wanted me out. And you don't want some person out without alleging something. And the allegation is quite a false one. Anyway, he is there. He is the man who was talking about doing to me what those youngsters did to Kabila Baba. And he's saying it loudly. It's recorded. It's from me to Kabila. And just the lack even of, you know, the security, the sense of security yake, very loose. Unenge uchitaura izvozvo zvokuti tinogona kumuuraya publicly, unofunga kuti vanhu vanozvitora sei? Vanokuvhunduka kakuti ndo pfungwa dzavanadzo idzi. Anyway, he is an incorrigible person, and we leave him as that incorrigible person. But of course we continue to watch what he is doing, and what his intentions are.
Finally, Your Excellency, you have been subject of vilification by the West for a decade and a half, yet both SADC and recently the African Union repose their faith in your leadership. Do you feel justified or vindicated for your lifelong stance and fight against colonialism and neocolonialism? And do you think that this is an indication that Africa is ready for a swing back to its roots, to the golden age of the founding fathers?
Yes, I feel very much vindicated. The stand I have held is a stand of principle. I am a Zimbabwean. I belong to Zimbabwe. The resources in my country are our resources. We are a sovereign country, and our independence and sovereignty is equal to the independence and sovereignty of any country in the world. Small though we are. Those are the principles that guided me. I stood by them. The land is ours. It's not British land. And that's why I said to Blair, he can keep his England, we keep our land. Because Zimbabwe doesn't belong to the British anymore. It belongs to the people of Zimbabwe. And as the people of Zimbabwe, we must develop our natural resources without let or hindrance from any quarter. So imperialism and colonialism have no place in Zimbabwe. And we say down with it, down with imperialism, down with colonialism. And that's the stand our people took, majority of them. There are others who were shaky, who thought, no, we muna arikuti ende some kwati chazange tichitambudzika. Yes, takaendesa vanhu kwavakatambudzika, vari kutambudzikira nyika yavo, and there could never be the degree of suffering equal to that which saw lots of youngsters die for their country, lots of people in various areas, in keeps, out of keeps, being killed, being subjected, to suffering by the imperialists during the liberation struggle. And so our people endured it, and our people managed to stick to their resources, especially land. And this is what imperialists don't know about us, that our survival is not equal to the survival of persons in urban areas with no recourse to any other possible source of survival. We are not that fully urbanized. We have one leg in Harare, Bulawayo, Gweru, Mutare, and another leg kwa Mrewa, kwa Mtoko, kwa Rimba, kwa Gutu. We do not regard Harare, the majority of us, as our home. We regard Rimba, Gutu, Mrewa, Mtoko as our homes. And there is our survival. We eat with our people in the bush, in the reserves. As I was saying, you are not a man without some cattle. because we are rural, in a sense, a rural people as well. And that's why we have not fallen. If we were entirely dependent on resources that are brought into town and we no longer had homes in the rural areas, we would have perished long ago. But with that ability given us by our own system, our women and men also in the informal sector ensured that they used their hands, they used their brains, and survived. And today we say, to the surprise of the whites, we are even better, in spite of sanctions, than the countries which don't have sanctions in Africa. We are much more highly educated than any other country in Africa, if not in the whole of the developing world. And they wonder how we did it. And also, we are a people with energies, full of energy, full of the desire to work. We are hard workers. You don't just say, there is this problem, and sit and allow the problem to eat you up and kill you. No. You say, I must get means of survival. Unfortunately, we have them. Kumusha. Yes, other people have, even our people in Africa are surprised that we survived. But they are even more surprised that I resisted to the end and did not give in because of the machinations of our enemies. I didn't surrender to them because of that. Yes, it was painful in mind and body, to be restricted by some people who have no business, to be doing those things that they have done on your country and on yourselves. Just the fact that some people in Europe and in America say, thou shalt not go to this place or that place, is completely undesirable and completely against international law. So, because of our own action here, because of also the fact that the sanctions were unmerited, undeserved, illegal, and completely unjust and unjustifiable. We are what we are. And that's why we say we shall never be a colony again. We can tell the British that to their face. We are not afraid of them. They are afraid of us, in a sense, small as we are. Yes, Africa must have equal commitment and equal degree of sacrifice. If first we are to preserve Africa for the Africans, African resources for Africa, I must create that environment of freedom and independence, and cooperate in that environment as Africans, put our resources together and build Africa from our resources. Yes, with the help of those countries which would want to be associated with us on equal terms. So I think we've been an encouragement to Africa, a pride also to Africa, and that's why Africa unanimously voted us as chair of the African Union. They are proud of us. Go anywhere else, you will hear how they praise Zimbabwe just because of the stand that we took against the British and their allies. And I do hope that our young people will learn from us and be tomorrow the purveyors of the legacy of our freedom and independence, with equal determination to stand against imperialism, equal determination to fight for the retention of their hard-won independence, so it's not interfered with by outsiders, that they can make friends, yes, with outsiders, with foreigners, provided the foreigners agree on equal terms to be their allies. And so we say to our young people, take care in the future of our legacy, and don't let those who are gone, who have died to create it, don't let them down.
Your Excellency, at this moment, I would like to take this opportunity on behalf of ZBC News and Current Affairs and on my own behalf to thank you very much for affording us this opportunity to host you on the occasion of your 91st birthday on this special program, Reflections at 91. Once more, Your Excellency, happy birthday and many happy returns.
I thank you very much, and I thank the people of Zimbabwe for the best wishes they have sent me, good wishes, and I return them by saying God bless you all, and God bless Zimbabwe, God bless Africa. Thank you.